Hey guys, welcome to PTE NAATI YouTube channel. Today I am going to cover one of the most important topics of your PTE exam, and that is Summarise Spoken Text. However, I am not going to cover the details of Summarise Spoken Text. That has already been covered in the main video if you have not watched it, and if you do have the time, I would highly recommend you to go through that video whenever possible, so that you know the minor details associated with this topic. How many questions, weightage, how do you get marks, what is the note-taking strategy, and what is the best way to put in the summary, what's the template. Everything is shared in that video, so don't stress about that. Today I want to just focus on one thing, and that is how to practice Summarise Spoken Text. What should be the flow chart, what should be the approach, because a lot of times I've seen that students, they just feel like giving up on this topic, especially when the audio is a little difficult, or they have any difficulties in understanding the accent, or if the speed of the audio is too fast. All that comes down to one point, and that is how much have you practiced when it comes to Summarize Spoken Text. So if you have not practiced enough and in the correct way, then there is no way you will be able to write a good summary in the exam, because you just have 10 minutes is including the audio. So let's say around 8 minutes to write down the summary. Now out of 8 minutes, obviously when you type, you do make mistakes. So you do need at the end at least 2 to 2.5 minutes to go through your summary, to read every single word. And if there is any spelling mistake or any grammatical error, then just correct it and then go to the next question. So time management is also very important when it comes to Summarize Spoken Text. Don't think I have 10 minutes. No, 10 minutes you have to divide it. There are several tasks associated with this topic that need to be finished before you click next and move on to the next question. And yes, this is an important topic, has a lot of weightage, contributes in your listening and writing, both the sections. So if you need good score in these two sections, you have to take this topic seriously. So first things first, what do I want to share regarding this topic? So let's say Summarize Spoken Text. I would initially recommend to practice like 5 to 7 questions per day, every single day. And then you can probably in a week to 10 days time, after that, if you have practiced every single day, after that you can reduce it to 3 to 4 questions per day. And then after that, if you, let's say this you carry on for another week, then after that you can reduce to 2 questions per day. But 2 questions per day is after 2 weeks of vigorous practice, every single day, practice. Then after 2 weeks you can reduce it to 2 questions per day, because obviously you've practiced like every single day 7 audios. When I say 7 questions, it means 7 different audios, not less than that. Now when I say 7 audios, it means if you feel that you played an audio and you could not do good, then you don't count that as one. You have to repeat it and master it. Repeating the audios multiple times is not wrong, because a lot of times students think, oh, I repeated this audio 4 times and then I could get good sentences. What's the point? In exam, the audio will not be played 4 times. Yes, that is exam. This is practice. There is a difference between practice and exam. If you do a lot of repetition in your practice, that's when by the time you reach your examination date, you are a master. And imagine if that same audio comes in exam, because it does happen. A lot of students, they get repeated questions. Imagine if you get something which you have already done, and when you did practice that audio, you were very serious. You treated every single audio with a lot of sincerity. If you get that in your exam, just imagine you don't even have to put any efforts and the summary will just come out so easily. So treat every single question with a lot of sincerity. Now for the first 2-3 days, what I feel is just focus on the note taking of Summarize Spoken Text. So if you are not sure how to take notes for Summarize Spoken Text, there is a different video about just how to take notes in Summarize Spoken Text. So that should be the next point, and that is notes. Because if my notes are not good, there is no point of thinking about how to write down a good summary, how many words, if I have memorized the template or not. Because if the note taking is not good, doesn't matter how good your template is, your summary won't come out that good, because it has to have a lot of good content. Just the template is not enough to get a good score. Template, understand one thing, template is just there to support. template is not there to carry the burden of this topic and give you a good score. So you have to understand the difference. Don't get too much carried away or be too much dependent on the template. So if you are using any template that you are comfortable with, that's perfectly fine. You can use our template as well, which is there in the description below. You can just check it there. Use any of the template, that is not the issue. The thing is, what is your content? How is the content? So we have already shared this. I'm just quickly repeating it. Whatever you write down in your notes has to be from the audio. It cannot be your own creation. And you have to target to take 4 sentences. Now, when I say sentences, don't get scared just by looking at the word sentences. Sentence doesn't mean it has to be 10, 15, 20, 30 word long, only then it is a sentence. No. Anything you write, if it's making sense, it is a sentence. For example, if I just write down as small as I live in Australia. Now, this is a sentence because it is making sense. So if it is not making sense, then it is not a sentence. A sentence has to be something which makes sense in Summarise Spoken Text. So if you are writing anything that is not making sense, I would not recommend that. If you are aiming for 7 each or 8 each or 9, if you are aiming for 6 or less than 6, then you can go for phrases. Phrases means not very long things, and group of words like 2-3 words may make sense, may not make sense, but that is only if you need less than 6. If you want 6 or above 6, I would still aim for sentences. Aim for 3 sentences if not 4, but 4 would be the best, especially if you want 7 each or 8 each. 4 sentences has to be your benchmark. So let's see what is after that. What is after that step? So let's say first 2, 3, 4 days I just invest in taking good sentences. Now a lot of times what will happen is, let's say I've made a cross like this as I've shown in the video of Summarise Spoken Text. Now I know I have to take 4 sentences. I play an audio and I take the first one. Now what's happening? I'm rushing towards finishing that sentence because I'm like, oh, finish it fast because otherwise I would miss the second sentence. No, don't do that. Let the audio do its job. Let it play. Let the speaker speak. You just concentrate on finishing one sentence. Don't think I have 3 to go. Think I have 1 to finish. Just 1 to finish. Finish 1. If you finish 1 and the audio is still playing, go for the second one. If in the first trial you can take 2 sentences, that's more than enough. Don't aim for 4. Even if you can take 1 sentence, that's okay. Play that audio again and see if you can take 1 more sentence. Play that audio again and see if you can take 1 more sentence. Don't think I'll play the audio day 1, or day 2, day 3, and I'll take 4 sentences. Yes, if the audio is too long, you may be able to take 4 sentences, but what about short audios or shorter audios? So practice a lot of shorter audios, because if you can take sentences in those audios, definitely you can manage taking sentences in the bigger audios. So you have to understand this. Let's say after 4-5 days, I come to a level where in the first go, I can take 4 sentences. That is the day when you start typing the summary. Never practice by writing the summary in your notebook with the pen, because in exam you cannot do that. You can only take notes using pen and paper, so that stick to it. But when it comes to writing the summary, what you need to do is make sure you type it in the computer from day 1. Please make sure of this. Now let's say your note taking is mastered after 4-5 days. Now switch to typing the summary. When you type the summary, 4 summaries, 5 summaries a day, then 3-4 summaries a day, automatically when you type the same template again and again and again, you will memorize it. Don't sit and especially a day and just think, okay, today is my day to memorize a template. No, don't waste your time doing that. The more you type, it is easily going to be digested in your system. So understand this. There is no need to waste your time. Next step is typing the summaries. Play an audio, take notes, type the summary. Play an audio, take notes, type the summary. Play an audio, take notes, type the summary. And type it in Word file so that if there is any spelling mistake, it can be highlighted. You can correct it. If there is any grammatical error, it can be highlighted. You can correct it. When you make a spelling mistake or when you make a grammatical error, write it in your notebook 5 times. Give yourself that punishment. It's not a punishment, I would say, it's just a learning phase. Remember when in school you used to make mistakes and your teacher used to say, do the homework twice, write it 5 times. Why do they say that? Because when you write the same thing again and again and again, it automatically just comes in your system and you will never forget it. So don't think, okay, I have written something, I have been typing this for a while, I know it. No. Did you write it 5 times? Even if the spelling as easy as forget, okay? Forget, Forget, very easy spelling. You made an error, write it 5 times, because when you write it 5 times and the next time you type any summary, you know, I also make mistakes in easy spellings. That overconfidence will go, because 90% students, they make errors in easy spellings like for, to. Big spellings, they might write it correctly, but small spellings, they will write it wrong. Understand this. And that's how you master the whole topic of Summarize Spoken Text. When you can write the summary, sit with a stopwatch or an alarm clock or something like that. Make sure you finish it within the time. Check your work. If you're happy, proceed. If you're not happy, repeat, repeat and repeat. Repetition is the mother of all skills, and I have read this in a lot of books. Apply this and you will be fine in Summarize Spoken Text. That's all I had to share about this topic as to how can you practice, what should be your flow. Follow this and you will be fine. If you have any questions regarding PTE or NAATI, just get in touch with us using Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Just search for our name, that is MNMMPTE NAATI, and you'll just find us, and then just text us. We're there to help you. We'll see what best solution you need, and then we'll get in touch with you accordingly. So bye for now, practice a lot, and any questions just put in the comment section below. Bye.